some of my unemployment money that I wasn't paid during the 2 weeks where there was this. They said I missed a reemployment assessment
Okay.
in August,
So
and then I got everything working, but I missed 2 weeks of reemployment assessment, that I was never paid, and I was waiting for the reassessment phone call, and it went during this time, and nobody ever called me. So then I finally got through to a Jeff who worked there, and he got everything fixed and got me going back on the unemployment, but I still never got those 2 weeks that I missed in September paid to
so
me.
you're denied until you reschedule. So then Jeff must have helped you reschedule.
Yeah, I would never got the reemployment phone call that I was supposed to get to answer the questions they were supposed to ask. So because
So
they never called me, they just decided to cancel me for those 2 weeks and deny me that money. So then, and then I also tried to appeal this in October, and then that court date never happened either. So you completely didn't call me with the reassessment like you were supposed to. Then you didn't call me during the court date that was supposed to happen as well. I got that documented, and that nobody ever called me on the court date, and I filed a formal appeal, and nobody ever called me in the state of Minnesota for that either. So I've been denied 2 weeks of unemployment
when did you file the appeal?
in October. And I had a court date October 10th at 2:30, and nobody ever called me. I have it documented. You think
So
I?
did
You
you
think?
get a letter after that?
No, I never got any letter, and nobody ever called me. They just didn't call me, and I was never able to appeal this, and I still have never gotten that 2 weeks of unemployment. I've been completely denied, and now my unemployment has run out, and now I'm trying to just address those 2 weeks that I was never paid.
Okay, what is the spelling of your first and last name?
Deborah Davis,
Okay, what's the spelling of your
Deborah, and then last name is Davis,
and your spelling of your last name
Davis,
and your date of birth
12271,
and the last four of your social?
4638.
What's the address on your home?
I'm. It's in Golden Valley.
Okay, you have to verify your address.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, it. I don't want to. Well, why do I have to say that right now over the phone? You should have all that.
Part of the verification.
Just one second. 1401 Winnetka Avenue in Golden Valley. Huh?
Is there a direction in your street?
Winnetka Avenue North. Why does that matter?
Part of the verification.
Okay.
Okay, you said Golden Valley.
Mhm.
And what's the rest of your address?
55427.
Okay. This will just be one moment.
Okay. Yeah, so this is another issue I've been trying to address in this corrupt state where I didn't get paid 2 weeks of unemployment. They didn't do the reemployment assessment, which is a bunch of bull honky to begin with. Like, why do I have to answer a bunch of your questions just to continue my unemployment? That was like
That's something you can ask the Career Force Center.
yeah,
We don't-
and then
we don't do
and then
that.
you and then they said, well, you can I have to appeal it and I have to go to court, like as if I did something wrong because you didn't place the phone call when you were supposed to. I think you need to be in court. Okay, yeah. So then they didn't, and then I had a scheduled appeal court date October 10th at 2:30. None of the judges from the Minnesota Appeal Board called me.
So there was one.
Completely
there was-
denying my
there
court
was-
date. That was complete
There
fraud.
there was one that you had to appeal by Wednesday, October 9th, and you didn't file that?
Yes, I did. I had a court date filed. I appealed it as soon as the guy is. You're completely out of your mind. I appealed everything like you told me to, like Jeff told me to immediately.
Okay, so that's
And I had a court date set for October 10th.
Let me talk? If you're not going to let me talk, I can.
Well, so far you're giving wrong information. I did appeal it in the proper time frame. And I appealed it immediately. And why should I even have to go through this when you were the one that didn't place the phone call?
From the Career Force Center.
Okay, but you were the ones that never called me. You never made the phone call. I have screenshots of my phone that day that you were supposed to place your dumb reemployment assessment phone call. Okay? And I never got any phone call that day. And then you just went ahead and denied me my unemployment because you didn't place the phone call like you were supposed to place. And then, and now we got to go to a court date to just try to get our money back after you illegally took it to begin with. Does that make any sense to anybody? Okay, you want to continue and try to explain yourself?
It looks like you missed the appeal on the first appeal.
I didn't miss anything. I was here waiting for the phone call that you never placed. I got screenshots of my phone and witnesses. God, could you be any more corrupt?
Reconsideration because of missing that deadline on the appeal.
I didn't miss any deadline, ma'am. I placed I went in there immediately and filed a court date and appealed it, and I got a court date that was set for October 10th at 2:30. And the judge never called me.
Okay, let me see if there's any notes from the appeal area.
Yeah, I placed immediately when Jeff told me how to do it, or the guy over that I called the customer service, they walked me how to do appeal, and I said I have to appeal because you didn't place the phone call. And they said, well, and so I did exactly what they said to do immediately, and then and I got a court date set for October 10th at 2:30. I was here, nobody called. So they make up this stuff where you gotta go through these hoops just to continue your unemployment in Minnesota, and do all this crazy stuff. Then if you don't do all this crazy stuff, then they cut you off, and then they play games and say you got to go to court with their dumb court thing, like as if I did something wrong because you didn't do your job. Yeah, that's real legal. I appealed it, and I had a court date, October 10th. I got it right on my calendar, and he was here, and I got witnesses, and you never called. Yeah, right here. Here's the appeal court date. Right on my calendar. Right in here. October 24th. Yeah, October 24th at 2:15. I was here. I had this on. It was scheduled in the Minnesota unemployment system, and nobody called me. And now they're trying to deny me this money. This is called fraud. I had it. Okay.
What phone number do you want a specialist to call you back at?
Okay, it's right in my calendar, ma'am, and I got a letter confirming it, and you never called. Okay, it's right here in my calendar in my phone. Okay, October 19th, and I had placed it immediately online and gotten the court date like I was supposed to get. You're the ones not doing your job.
Okay, what phone number do you want a specialist to call you back at?
651-767-2892.
Okay, I will submit a request to have somebody call you back.
Okay, thank you.
It won't be today because we're closing in 15 minutes.
Okay.
And we're not here on Monday, so it'll be Tuesday.
Okay. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Just had enough of all these frauds in this state. I have literally, I address things in the legal way that I'm supposed to address things. Okay, and they are not doing their job. They're completely, like, our whole state has been infiltrated. I mean, these, this unemployment, they owe me 2 weeks. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I go into the workforce center and do my, things, everything they asked me to do. When they tried to say, we get this letter saying we have to do this reemployment assessment. Okay. Then, so then they were supposed to call me. This was in, October, November, December, January, February, March, May, whatever. It was, August, I think. I never received the phone call. So then they just cut off my unemployment for 2 weeks. Okay, that's just called fraud. Okay, and then to get that money that they frauded us, they were trying to set up. We had to file an appeal to get a court date, and then we filed appeals, and then they didn't honor the court dates, and then they didn't follow up with their court dates like they were supposed to. So I'm sure tons of people lost, like, thousands and thousands of dollars that got frauded from the unemployment system here. So I've been frauded for 2 weeks there, my unemployment, and then I still haven't received. So I'm trying to address this. I'm just tired of all these. But you know what? It's our whole country. I mean, they're all completely, like, everything's been infiltrated here. It's so bad. I don't know why more people are not standing up and saying something. I mean, I'm certainly not the only one that this has happened to in Minnesota, where they're just playing a complete runaround with us. Okay, and and this issue with this landlord. I mean, it's just that, everybody's like, well, I'm sure people are thinking, well, why don't you just move? Okay, I have a situation where at a house that I own in South Dakota where they played the same games in the city because they're so corrupt. Okay, everywhere I go, I'm getting harassed because I'm on a targeted individual list. So I have, everywhere I've gone, I've been harassed this way. This is nothing new for me. This is 13 years of this because I've been on this targeted individual list. Okay. So you think that, maybe I should just move, or maybe I should just go somewhere. No, it doesn't matter where I go. I am on a list called a targeted individual list, okay, where it involves these Masons and the CIA, and they make sure that I am just terrorized and harassed everywhere I go. It's been everywhere I've gone for over 12 years, for 13 years, okay? So that is why I'm making such a big stink of this, because it doesn't matter where I go. Doesn't matter where I go. I'm on a list, and it'll continue happening to me everywhere I go. A targeted individual chart, okay? It involves the CIA, the Masons, and I'm on this list, okay? Okay, and it involves the CIA out of Denver. I've talked about this before. Okay, I'll show the chart if you haven't seen it. Okay, here's the chart. Targeted individual charts. Okay. Just type in targeted individual charts, and but I've already got them printed out. Okay. Okay. But anyway, it involves the CIA out of Denver that originally puts you on this list. And then it goes down to the FBI. Then it goes down to the different law enforcement agencies. I'm gonna show you the list right now. Hold on one second. it is. Think I'm making this up? Okay, here we go. We're gonna expose all these people because they're the ones involved in. Okay, so it's called a targeted individual list. Okay, this is what I got put on as a whistleblower, as a military whistleblower and a veteran. The CIA out of Denver put me on this list. Okay, it goes up from here. I got put on a list in CIA in Denver. Put me on a list. Okay, and on who's involved in this program is the fusion centers. The fusion centers are also called the criminal apprehension centers. That's who the fusion centers are. Okay, there's these buildings. They're like a call center. And they're and the police are involved with stingrays, and they're making sure our calls are bypassed to the fusion center instead of to the real place we're trying to call. Okay, so the fusion centers are involved, as you can see here. I'm not making this up. It's right on the internet. Okay, Shriver Air Force Base is involved. They're on the list here. This is a documented list. It's documented right in a handbook. How they're gonna harass you when you get on this list. Okay, it involves gang stalking. So this guy upstairs, Alan, and his Mason buddies are involved in gang stalking, and that's what the landlord is involved in with me right now. It's a gang stalking tactic. Okay, it's pure harassment, break-ins, poisonings. They're trying to. Okay. So the different landlords in places that I've rent are involved in the gang stalking, and the police are involved in the gang stalking. I've been pulled over 40 times. It's part of the targeted individual program. It's 100% illegal. It's treason and crimes against humanity against me. Okay? So it involves directed energy weapons. I've been hit by directed energy weapons from CIA different bases throughout the world. Okay, it's in the UK. There's something called a Tide database that has these people put on this list as well. Okay,
Debra,
and
why didn't you deposit the rent and the Debra?
I paid my rent with a money
in
order.
the bank? Why didn't you deposit in the bank?
What does it matter?
Because you're
Here's the
in your
targeted individual
contract.
program. So he's
Because
involved
in your
in
contract,
gang stalking.
in your bank, you're supposed to deposit the.
Hector's
the check.
involved in my gang stalking.
Hi,
You're a gang
guys.
stalker.
Hi, guys.
See?
Well,
See, this is harassment.
nah,
This is harassment.
I'm leaving.
You're
Are you good?
harassing
Are you
me.
okay? No, I'm saying bye.
You just don't stop harassing me.
He's not harassing me.
See? And then, see, it involves directed energy weapons and gang stalking. And Hector's involved in the gang stalking part. This is, you're on a program. You put me on a program. I'm letting everybody know what you and the police are involved in. You're involved in my targeted individual program.
Can I take a picture of this?
Yeah.
Oh, this is.
I'm fully aware what's going
Well,
on
well,
here,
okay,
and that you and the police are involved in gang stalking me
The other one.
and a targeted individual program. So I'm just letting everybody know
Where?
it's called treason, Hector,
No, the other
and
one,
crimes
the other one,
against
the other one,
humanity.
The other one, the other one, the other one.
Yeah,
What about no the other one? The one I'm involved in
and
the
the
game.
and the energy
Well,
weapons.
that
and
explains the
everything.
whole thing.
It's called gang stalking. What you're
Gang
doing to me is gang stalking.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Perfect.
You and Alan.
We have an appointment at 10 with the